All right, welcome back to the episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight it is that time, week 10 of college football. It is hard to believe. The College Fantasy League only has 4 weeks left, really, so which we're at the bottom of, but it is what it is. So
sitting in the middle of the pack.
Are you 4th or 5th?
Like 5th, I think, maybe 4th,
I think you're 4th. So
I'm surprised all that money I just spent.
Surprising season for this guy. Yeah, you did just spend a whole lot of money on free agent team. So, anyways, we'll get into it. Before we jump into it, as always, please hit the subscribe button for us. Totally free to you. We are growing the channel. We have done it exponentially over the last month or so. If you are a new member, welcome to the family. We appreciate you coming back for another video. And as always, if you've been a long-time member, we appreciate you. I hope you know that. It really does mean a lot for you to come and subscribe to the channel. So make sure you hit the like button to help make our videos popular too. So Adam, Chris, Keith, and week 10 of the Pick'ems. At the moment, Keith is still in first place, even after only 3 wins this past week. We have had...
And 2 the week before.
Yeah, back-to-back bad weeks on the channel. So Keith leading at 47 and 32. Adam, you're down to 44 and 35. Only 3 games back, though, with basically, we'll call it 5 weeks, because I think we're going to do a bowl pick'em with this as well. So the one chip challenge is on the line for the loser of the league. And it will be a wonderful video that you will get to see one of the 4 of us eating at the end of college football this year. So
hopefully it's Adam, because Adam does not like spicy.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like spicy. It's I want spice with flavor, not just hot to be hot.
Is crunch a flavor? Because it'll be spicy.
Crunch is not a flavor. This one's just gonna be hot to be hot.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to jump into it. Appalachian State at Coastal. This is a Wednesday night, the 3rd? Yeah, Wednesday. No, Thursday night, the 3rd. 7:30 at Coastal. App State 5-3, Coastal 7-1, but App State is a 3-point favorite on the road.
It's kind of surprising. Who was
the Old Dominion is their only loss.
They got manhandled. Yeah, so they got
that was a bad loss.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of sneaky, but I think Coastal wins this one. I think App State has had a lot of good this year and has done a lot of good, but I think Coastal's just on another level right now. They're playing really well, so I'm taking Coastal at home.
This is tough. I mean, I like App State. I've owned App State in our college fantasy league. I have moments where I say App State should be 9-1 or 7-1, whatever it is now.
8-1.
7-1. They're 5-3, so they should be 7-1. And I have moments where I think App State should have won 2 football games this year. So,
well, same thing we said about Coastal. You're looking at some of these games that they barely won. I mean, they only beat Gardner-Webb by 4. They beat Buffalo by 12. They beat Georgia Southern by 4.
They beat UL Monroe by 7, who I thought was going to be the absolute worst team in college football this year.
Yeah, so I don't know. This could be one of those sneaky games. If Chase Bryce goes in and has a really good game, I think that gives the edge to App State.
Yeah, I mean they're 1-1 over the last 2 seasons, and I mean Grayson McCall's been decent. I wouldn't say he's been stellar. I mean, obviously 19 touchdowns with 1 interception is great, but he's also really not thrown for that many passing yards and only 2,000 yards. So, and he's completed a sizable 70% completion percentage for the season, basically.
That's pretty strong, 70%.
Yeah. So I tell you what, I'm with Adam. I'm taking Coastal on this one. I mean, I understand obviously the 3-point line for being at home, and App State already still being a 3-point favorite means they're basically a 6-point favorite. But I'm with Adam here. I like what I think it ends up being the better quarterback at home.
Yeah, I think I'll go Coastal at home too.
That was a whole lot of thinking just right
It was.
Just to agree with everybody.
Well, no, because
it's alright. We don't have to hear your reasoning.
Yeah.
I want to give it to you anyway.
Jesus. So, all right, next game up. This is actually a later game on Friday, a 10:30 game on Friday. Number 23. This is by the college football playoff rankings, by the way. Number 23, Oregon State, who is 6-2, is on the road at Washington, who's also 6-2. Washington is the 3.5-point favorite at home.
I think this one's almost a toss-up. I think both teams. I hadn't seen much of Oregon State, but what I've seen a little bit of Washington, they hadn't looked terrible. They hadn't looked.
They've had
great.
bad games, but they've
They've had bad games, but they've managed a way to win them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Washington at home. I'm going to take Washington at home.
I think I'm going to take Washington home as well.
Damn. All right.
You want Oregon State, dude?
I am going to go Oregon State. I mean, I think the only reason I will go Oregon State here, I think Washington's a fantastic team. I think they are probably one of the most underrated, non-ranked Power 5 teams, and they were so bad last year. But
God awful.
But Michael Pendexter Jr. has completely turned this team around. The guy's thrown 22 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. There is something about Oregon State where I look at it and I go, God, if Oregon State had a quarterback, they would probably win the Pac-12. They play great on defense. They run the ball really efficiently. I mean, it's from a multiple running back spectrum, too. And the 2 losses for Oregon State this year, Southern Cal and Utah. I mean, you got to respect those 2 losses for those 2 teams, even though I don't really respect Utah a whole lot. So, I'm going to take Oregon State. I got a feeling they come away with this one. All right, those Oklahoma State Cowboys, which I feel like we've had on our pick'em for like 4 straight weeks now, at least 3 straight weeks for sure. They're a 2-point favorite on the road at 5-3 Kansas.
After just getting shut out by Kansas State.
Yeah.
We all missed that one.
Yeah, we all missed that one for sure.
I knew Matt Duggan was going to have a good game. I'd had a feeling, but I know I took
Oregon or OK State.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I knew I took Oklahoma State, but Max Duggan has been playing very well.
Kansas has fallen off so hard. I mean, that loss to TCU was difficult. Then they got blown out by Oklahoma. You know, they got handled by Baylor. I've been a big fan of Oklahoma State all season. I said on camera last week that they had a great defense. Their defense is up to. I mean, after these last 4 weeks now, their defense last 4 weeks now, their defense is now averaging 31 points a game given up. I mean, that's bad.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where I'm going here.
What are they doing against the rush, though? They'll give up 140?
152. They're putting up 140. They've given up 152.
I'm going
because Kansas has just those 2 big running backs, but I think Oklahoma State has the better quarterback in Spencer Sanders.
I'm going Oklahoma State.
I don't know if Daniels is playing here, so let me look at it. He's questionable.
I'm gonna say with Jalen Daniels out, Kansas isn't quite the same. So with him still being questionable, and I think it may be a game, like a game day decision or like a Friday night decision, kind of see how practice goes this week. But I'm going with Oklahoma State on the road at Kansas. I think Kansas had started out really hot and it's finally gotten exposed a little bit in the last 3 weeks, and maybe hopefully in some film study this week, Oklahoma to figure something out. Oklahoma State has figured something out.
You taking Oklahoma State too?
Yeah, I just spent $10. I'm not going to take OK State. I think they have a bounce back game from last week to prove that was not that unfortunate.
I don't. I mean, I want to take the same teams as y'all, but the last couple of weeks we've been bad. So, and I have a feeling. I mean, I like Bean as the backup quarterback for Kansas. He's looked good. The guy's thrown 9 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in the 3 games that he's played for Kansas. So,
I still think Spencer Sanders is a better quarterback.
I agree that Spencer Sanders is the better quarterback. There's no question about it. But I mean, his team's given up 31.1 points per game at this point. And
I think they have something to prove this game, though.
303 yards through the air. So
I think they have something to prove this game, though.
Yeah, I mean they certainly are playing a lesser opponent, right? TCU dominating the conference. Texas was a big win for them, and then Kansas State obviously dominated them last week. But they should have something to prove. Let's see if they can come out and prove it, I guess. All right. Little ACC action for you here. Number 20 Syracuse, who's 6-2, going up against 4-4 Pitt at Pitt. Syracuse obviously coming off back-to-back losses here with Clemson and Notre Dame. A really ugly loss last week to Notre Dame for them. Pitt also coming off back-to-back losses with North Carolina and Louisville. Pitt is a 3.5-point favorite at home.
I'm taking the orange. I like the way Syracuse looked. Just in general, I know it was kind of a bad loss, but I still like the way they have played ball this year. They have looked really good. I think their defense has looked really well. I'm going to Cuse it on the road.
I'm with you here. I think Syracuse is the better team. For me, I just want to see Syracuse get back to doing what made them good.
Running the
giving
ball.
Sean Tucker the ball. Yeah, I mean, like, get Tucker the ball. He's one of the best running backs in the country. Garrett Schrader, very good quarterback. Obviously made a lot of mistakes over the last couple of weeks. I think Slovis is a great quarterback, too. This is a really good matchup to watch two good quarterbacks go at it. But for me, I mean, Syracuse, you got to get back to doing what you were doing that made you successful, and that's running football.
Yep.
I'll go with the orange men as well.
Yeah, RPO, one power often, right?
Yeah. That's what it should be at South Carolina, I can tell you right now, because the RPOs we calling ain't working. But a little unique matchup here. This is not a matchup I thought would be a close line, but when you look at it.
This is always a big game, though.
This is a big game. A lot of points probably getting put up
Always
here.
a big
lot
game.
of points. So UCF, number 25 in the country, they're 6-2. They lost to ECU 2 weeks ago, but they just beat number 20 Cincinnati at home last week. So big week for the bounce house. I think you actually took UCF too in the pick'em, so this is probably one of the ones you got correct.
I don't remember.
And going to Memphis, who's 4-4, 3:30 game for them. Memphis has been one of the most explosive offenses in all of college football. They have also been one of the most Swiss cheese defenses in all of college football, and they've given up 31.1 points a game as well. So 3.5 point line in the favor of the Knights on the road.
I like UCF here. Like you said, they're coming off that big win against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think they got some stuff clicking on offense right now. And like you said, I think the over is destined to hit in this one.
Yeah. Hammer the over.
Over is 58.5.
I think it
Hammer it.
hits. I think Memphis's defense won't be able to contain them, but I think their offense is going to keep them in this game by scoring 35 points, 40 points. But I think UCF's looking at scoring 45 points,
Okay. I said the same thing last week about the Cincinnati and UCF game when you and I were sitting here doing it. John Rice Plumlee is the team's leading rusher. That's not a good thing for UCF. If they get into a position where they get down and they have to throw the football a lot, they're going to lose the football game. They didn't get into a position last week with Cincinnati. They controlled the game. They ran the game. John Rice Plumlee led them to a W. I think that UCF can get good on the road here, and they're going to be able to go beat Memphis just by simply controlling the clock, running the football, and being who they are.
I'll take the Black Knights as well.
Yeah, so that's UCF for you, Stash. And I think the other thing that I would want to say there is that Memphis is coming off a 3-game slide against 3 tough opponents. I mean, they got to be losing a little bit of confidence here, and UCF obviously coming off that high of beating Cincinnati. So
yeah,
I like UCF here to keep staying. So big matchup, big line. We'll cover it in a second, but a big matchup here in the SEC West. Alabama, number 6 in the country from the playoff rankings, 7-1 on the road at number 10 LSU, who's 6-2. Night game, LSU
in the
Baton Rouge. They go and play neck a lot. They win a lot of these games at home. LSU with a chance here to win the SEC West if they can beat Alabama. Can they get it done? They're a 13.5 point dog at home.
Yeah,
I always like LSU at home at night, but there's just something about Bama that they just always seem to rise to the occasion. And you got Bryce Young back, you got Gibbs who can just turn it on. I gotta go Roll Tide.
And Alabama for him.
Yeah, you got to go with the 2-score favorite here. I know it is tough in LSU to play at night, and it's going to be
It's
rowdy.
a completely different atmosphere at night.
Yeah, it's going to be rowdy, but like you
It's
said,
Alabama.
with this healthy team again, it's going to be Bama. 13.5 is going to be a lot to cover, but I think they find a way to get it done.
I laughed so hard this offseason when people said, oh, Brian Kelly, he's going to be able to get LSU back. He's going to be able to get LSU back. Watch, they're going to be an 8-9 win team this year. And I'm like, how? How is LSU?
Where are you
seeing that? And
Here they are sitting at
I'm gonna
6
tell you
and
what, they're
2.
6-2, and they should be 7-1. That Florida State game to start the season, they absolutely gave it away. They absolutely should have won that. The Tennessee game, they got blown out. And guess what? Alabama lost to Tennessee too, right? So they both lost to a common opponent. Alabama really hasn't played a whole lot of great teams outside of, I guess,
Tennessee.
Arkansas and Mississippi State and Tennessee.
Well, they played Texas. Texas hasn't been a pushover.
I mean, they almost lost to Texas. So, I want to do it. I want to pull the trigger on LSU. I want to do it so bad. I'm going to look myself in the camera and watch this video next week and say, you should have done this probably. But I'm going to go with Alabama just because I think they're a more complete team. They're a more veteran team. Nick's got them on fire. This needs to be a win for them.
And they have one of the scariest players in college football.
Will Anderson.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, though, has played so good at LSU this year. 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's also run for 9 touchdowns. He's been a threat with his legs. Very impressed with what they've done at LSU. I just think they're maybe a year or two away from being able to pull this off. Back to the ACC, we got a top 25 matchup here. Number 21, Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They're 6-2. They're going on the road at your boys, the NC State Wolfpack, also 6-2. NC State 4.5-point dog at home.
I agree with that.
Oh.
I think Wake wins this.
See, if this had been
NC State is not the same without Devin Leary at the quarterback. I'm pretty sure he's the quarterback's as a freshman.
he's out for the season.
Yeah, Leary.
Oh,
yeah, he's out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
So I think with a freshman at the quarterback, and this is
Who's not bad.
he's not bad, but
No.
this is a pretty decent Wake Forest team that I feel like will be able to handle NC State. They've looked good the last few weeks, but I think NC State is.
Chambers is the one that's playing.
I think NC State's reeling a little bit, trying to find themselves on offense a little bit still after Leary's, like I said, is gone out for the year. So I like Wake on the road here.
Okay.
What scares me about Wake is how bad they got beat last week by Louisville and giving up 6 turnovers in the third quarter.
On the road, too.
On the road.
Wake,
That's what scares me about this game.
Wake hasn't played great on the road. That's the only thing that I'm nervous about. The Florida State game, they were up big and they let Florida State back, but they ended up closing it out. Obviously, the Louisville blowout, but you look at it at home. Boston College and Army blew them both out at home. Clemson, that was the double overtime game for them on at home. But you look at NC State, flip the reverse, right? They don't play well on the road either. They didn't play well at Clemson. They didn't play well at Syracuse, but they beat Florida State, they beat Virginia Tech, and they beat UConn at home over the last 3 games. So, man. I like to go with the quarterback, so I got to stick with Sam Hartman. You and I talked about him last week. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, if not the best quarterback. So I'm going to go with Wake on this one.
Yeah, I think I'd be more apt to go with NC State if Leary was starting at home. But
Agreed.
Since Leary's out and it's going to be the Sam Hartman show, I think I'm going to go with Wake.
All right. Well, your favorite Texas Longhorns, number 24 in the college football playoff rankings, is 5-3, and they're on the road at number 13 Kansas State, who's 6-2, just coming off that big blowout of Oklahoma State. And Texas is a 2.5-point favorite on the road.
I don't see how.
They had a bye week last week. Good chance to get ready for Kansas State, get healthy, get 2 weeks to prepare for them.
Man, I think
St. Vince Young and Mac Jones though.
I think Kansas State handles business at home.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they ride this high of beating Oklahoma State, and I get that Texas isn't a pushover right now, but I think they handle business and they get the win. They've looked really good.
Their defense is
like I said, Max Duggan has looked really good the last few weeks.
Max Duggan is the quarterback at TCU, not Kansas State.
No, my bad then.
Yeah.
Still Kansas State.
He's still good.
He still does look good.
Adrian Martinez is the
Oh,
quarterback at Kansas State.
the old Nebraska kid.
Yeah, which actually I don't know that he played last week. He was hurt for a while.
Is it Aiden Martinez or something like that?
I think it's Adrian, actually.
Anyway. What
I'm going
team?
Texas. I like teams that get a bye week and they get 2 weeks to prepare for them. Obviously, they probably sat at home and watched K-State blow out Oklahoma State last week. It was like, holy crap. But, Texas lost a heartbreaking game against Oklahoma State, which they were up and should have won. And I get that that's a similar game, but I don't know. I mean, I got a feeling Quentin Ewers is ready for this upset, man. Bijan Robinson, Texas has talent. They just got.
There's never been a doubt that Texas has had talent.
Oh. Can't go with the popular vote when we split here, so.
I know. I gotta go.
He loves to just take the popular vote.
No.
He just loves to
Yeah,
ride with it.
yeah.
He never wants to be the outlier.
I'll be the outlier. Don't worry. And that's how you wind up in last place, fellas.
Well, he can't blow the lead if he goes with the popular vote, right?
I'm gonna take K-State at home.
All right, I like it. So, a little K-State action here for Keith.
Are we gonna get Alex's picks this week?
Yeah,
Okay.
I get him every week. When he doesn't show up, he just has to text him into me. I just text him the list of games he picked. All right, our favorite team. Just kidding.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame's going to be our favorite.
Our
team.
favorite overrated team.
Yeah, Notre Dame is the universe's favorite overrated team.
Mm-hmm.
So, number 4 Clemson, surprising number 4 ranking for them, 8-0 at 5-3 Notre Dame. Everybody had this game circled early on. This was going to be a college game day game. Notre Dame's obviously fallen to 5-3 this year with some really, really bad losses, but they're only a 3.5-point dog at home to Clemson.
I'm giving it to Clemson. That defense has been.
We talked about it
stout.
every single week.
This Clemson defense has finally looked well. I think DJ Ukulele, or however you say his last name. Yeah, his finally starting to figure stuff out. Will Shipley is great at running back for him.
I wouldn't say DJ Uiagalelei or whatever is figuring out. He got his ass benched last week to Cade Klubnik. So
well, last week he had a bad game. Last week he had a bad game, but I think overall he has looked a lot better than when he started the season. I thought he was gonna. I could have sworn Cade was gonna start by week 4.
Oh yeah.
The way DJ
I
started.
100% thought this was a Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant situation all over again.
yeah.
So I think he figured some stuff out. He did, yeah. Last week he was off, did not have his stuff. Cade made it happen for him. Cade let him down and got him that win. And so I think if it gets to the same scenario where DJ doesn't have his best stuff and you have to bring in a backup, I think Cade's got it to make it happen, and they have proven that they can win with the backup quarterback. So I'm taking Clemson on the road at Notre Dame.
I'm gonna take Clemson just because it's Clemson. They're gonna find a way to Clemson this game and win.
Man.
I don't want to take Clemson, but the minute every time I bet against Clemson this year,
They win.
they fucking win. So just run the hot hand.
Man, dude.
I think
Notre Dame has beat some good teams, all right? North Carolina, whether people like to admit it or not, they are high right now. They are a good team. They are in the top 25. I mean, you beat North Carolina at North Carolina, you beat BYU at home, and you just beat number 16 Syracuse. You beat the brains off of number 16 Syracuse at Syracuse. The same team that Clemson had to come back against at home and struggle to beat 27-21. Man.
I want Notre Dame to win,
I
but
want it, man.
Clemson's gonna pull Clemson, and they're gonna find a way to sneak this win.
If you got to pull the trigger on one of them between LSU and Notre Dame, which one do you feel more?
LSU. I really do feel like LSU's gonna beat Alabama.
All right, then pull the trigger on LSU then versus Notre Dame.
No, because Keith's 100% right. Clemson's gonna find a way to win this game. Like
It's the new Clemson.
They'll win, by 2 or 3 points. They'll figure out a way to win it. And so, Clemson, listen to me. Run the football. Give the ball to Will Shipley in all shapes and forms. Let him do kickoff. Throw it to him. Hand it to him. Hell, put him up there at quarterback and let's run some old wildcat out. Give the ball to Will Shipley. Please, please, please don't blow this for me. I'll take Clemson with y'all. I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it because Keith's 100% right. Clemson will find a way to win.
We talk about it every single week. They always find a way to win.
Yeah.
Every single week. And I hate it.
Is this game day? Do we know?
This is game day. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Had
So-
Should be.
Oh, absolutely. Had to be.
Had to be.
So, all right. Final game of the week for us.
Okay.
Go ahead. What?
I would say, is this not third time this year?
Third
The
time
Tennessee
Tennessee's
has
been
been
there.
on
Game day. Game day.
Yeah. So, you gotta follow the Cinderella story for them.
Well, not only that, but I mean, they got the.
Yeah, this is
they've had,
1998 reincarnated, man.
Oh, it is.
They've had the best matchup so far.
At this point, it's real. So, number 1 Tennessee 8-0 at number 3 Georgia 8-0. 3:30 CBS game of the week. College game day. Georgia is a 8.5-point favorite at home. Number 1 and number 2 offenses in the country, Tennessee and Georgia. Number 6,
Defense in Georgia.
yeah, and number 82 defense in the country, Tennessee.
I think that is the difference in why Georgia wins. I think Georgia beats Tennessee this week. Offensively, they are ideally matched up perfectly. But I think that
Georgia
Georgia
the edge. Georgia with those two big tight ends
in Block Bowers
and
and
Oscar Delt.
but still, I think offensively they're talent wise and the way they scheme to get their guys the ball are done very well. They're putting the balls in their playmakers' hands a lot, and the thing that's gonna hinder them is Tennessee just doesn't quite have that stellar defense that Georgia has, and I think Georgia's gonna see their day tomorrow. It has Tennessee's number on Saturday, not more on Saturday, and gets the win.
I wish tomorrow was Saturday.
Yeah, you and me both. 2016 is the last time that Tennessee beat Georgia.
I don't know. I think this
It
is.
had been 12 years since, or 15 years since they beat Alabama.
I know.
I think it's closer than 8.5, but I think Georgia wins. So I'm taking the dogs at home.
Sick 'em.
You go take the dogs too?
I'm taking the dogs.
Yeah.
That defense is scary.
It is very good.
I mean, Alabama has scary defense too, and they put up 52 on Alabama, but yeah, yeah. Question is, who's Joe going to take?
I know the answer to that, and I'll reveal it off air on the show maybe. But I'm taking Tennessee.
He's got both of them.
I'm taking Tennessee. I'm going to say screw it. I've wanted so many of these upsets this week, and you know what? Dude, I fumbled the ball on the Alabama-Tennessee because what did I say? Alabama was going to beat them by 24. I said something stupid like that on camera.
We all said roll tide,
And,
but you know,
I mean, I was so wrong, and I've been the biggest Tennessee hater this year, probably saying, "Oh, it's 1998. Oh, it's 1998." Shit, maybe it is 1998.
Is
Maybe,
this the year?
maybe they're having an absolutely miracle year, and this is the LSU of 2019.
Yeah,
the
the
numbers
Joe,
match.
I mean, it's just
The
it's
Joe
so-
Burrow.
The numbers physically match.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy right now. There's so many times that people said LSU was going to finally lose, and they never did. And so maybe, you know what?
this is it for Tennessee. Huh?
I think Georgia has played a cupcake walk schedule. And when they had trouble with Kent State and Missouri, I was like, wait a minute. Now, granted, they've come back and they played well. They were beating Florida 28-20 at the end of the third quarter and put it on them in the fourth quarter. But if Tennessee can actually run the football on Georgia to keep the offense balanced a little bit, which don't get me wrong, Georgia only giving up 85.5 yards a game on the ground right now. It is stellar what they've been able to do on the ground. If Tennessee can run the football just to change the flavors every once in a while.
Try to keep that offense off the field just a little bit.
Yeah, I think that Tennessee, it's going to be different than the Alabama game in my opinion, where we saw Alabama and Tennessee were just who could score 91st.
Yeah.
I think this is actually a pretty low-scoring game in my opinion. I think Georgia's offense is a little bit overrated, and I think this is a low-scoring game. This may end up being a 27-23 kind of game.
I can see that. But so you taking Tennessee though?
I'm taking Tennessee. He's taking Georgia.
He's got Georgia.
Yeah. I didn't talk you into it?
No,
Okay. All right. I'm just going to try. So,
I hate Tennessee.
I
I hate Georgia.
Listen, I hate both of them too. I mean,
But,
you
yeah.
ain't got to convince me I hate both of them. But all right, so we'll lock it up there, Tennessee and Georgia, or Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia, and that is going to put a wrap on our Week 10 college football picks. As always, hit us in the comments and let us know who you think is going to win these games. If we're crazy, if we made the wrong picks, And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, hot damn.
I think if there's one to pick an upset on, Chris, I think you chose the right